Welcome to another edition of the Pick and Downs podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and P. Bush. How you fellas doing?
Doing all right, man. Got to see Zoo last weekend. Got to watch Io DeSumo put up a cool 43 piece, man. I couldn't believe it. I mean,
Insanity.
everything that went down in that game on the injuries front with obviously Dante and Ant. I'm sure we'll get into it. But for Io to just come out, show out, and I was shocked, man. I mean, it was a perfect game. I don't think you could play a more perfect game as a guy coming off the bench, giving you starter minutes because of the circumstances. Honestly, just exciting. And based on last night, now it's 3-2. So it's a bit of an interesting series. Obviously, we kind of know where the injuries stand at this point for the T-Wolves. But it's been an interesting NBA Zoo. Very high highs of highs and then some low lows, man, with some sweeps and such. And I don't know what you guys think, but Devin Booker, man, looked like he was already on vacation halfway through this past series man, with the Thunder.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You know you're going to lose, but, like, come on, man. So, typical first round of NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw our first sweep, actually, with OKC kind of – I just slept through that series because they didn't seem like they were trying that hard. And they didn't – like, Jalen Williams was injured. Like, he missed a couple games, too.
Yeah.
And –
didn't matter.
It don't matter at all. They kind of just the same exact team without him, to be honest. Like, I don't really notice him sitting on the bench or on the court or off the court because they don't really need him, which is pretty crazy to say. Your second player, you don't really need him. But yeah, absolutely. We saw some sweeps, saw some intense games, saw some upsets where that T-Wolves game was quite disturbing as a Nuggets guy. As a guy that kind of that likes Jokic, that was a very disturbing game that I saw. So losing to a team without Ant-Man, that can't happen. So there definitely have some surprises, but obviously I think Spurs going to take care of business coming up. So maybe a couple other 5-game series to take care of business, but we might have a 1-8 upset too. So we got to keep our eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thought process through all of these series is just like the ebbs and flows. Feel a little bit more outside, of course, the OKC and Phoenix series, but the ebbs and flows of the games have been higher than normal, it feels like, which is just not really the feeling I ever get when I'm watching the first round. And I will say that 2 players that have earned a lot of money and lost a lot of money is Jalen Duran on the lost a lot of money, I feel, and Io DeSumo earned a lot of money. And I say that in just because once – and who knows what happens with this Detroit series. It's not over yet. But if they were to lose, there's probably a really high chance that he still gets paid his money because you kind of just got to pay a guy who's probably going to be in an All-NBA team, and you can't really punish him for one series. But I will say, if you are in the Twitterverse before you get started, it kind of makes sense why Durant is kind of playing the way he is. And I'll just say it involves a lady, and I'll leave it at that. There might be a couple of back ends to that where it kind of makes sense in terms of motivation for both Durant and Wendell Carter Jr. But P. Bush, go ahead and get it started with just East or West, start wherever in terms of a series that you're interested in.
I know. I'll just say real quick. I know Durant, Miss Reese, I thought he would have learned how to rebound a little bit better with how many putbacks he does every single game, man. But this guy's been an absolute non-factor. But I'll let someone else touch more on the Magic Pistons series. A bit truly shocking, though. But at the same time, and I wrote this down, I said, the Pistons being in this situation is both shocking and not surprising at the same time. We kind of felt this a little bit, especially after Cade got injured, just showcasing that, like, the entire team became Dennis Jenkins pretty much when Cade was out. And if that's telling enough in and of itself, he's surrounded by a bunch of really 6 men and role players. Durant has showed up as a role player in this series. He looks kind of like a younger Wendell Carter Zoo a little bit, putting up like 12 and 7, just ugly game. But Wendell's clearly outplayed him in this series. So, yeah. But the one I want to talk about real quick, I feel like we just have not touched on this one at all. And it's a good series on paper. Horrible series to watch. And that's the Cavs-Raptors, man. I mean, this is a 2-2 series. Both teams won respectively in their home matchups.
Home court, yep.
And we said, I think I said this when we were previewing the full playoffs, man. Donovan Mitchell needs to average 30 a game for this Cavs team to even beat a surprising Toronto Raptors team who really doesn't have an identity other than I think we always we always go back on
Yeah.
defense and
Yeah.
big wings.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
They don't really
Yeah.
have a guard. They don't really have a great guard play. We can talk about Emmanuel
No.
quickly all you
No,
want. But
definitely not quickly. Definitely
No.
not good. Great guard.
it's Barnes,
Jesus.
Barrett, and Ingram who doesn't even show up half the time. Brandon Ingram. So I just needed to make a comment on that. This Cavs team is, I told you, man, they're just the Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell of the East, man. And they went all in, quote unquote,
They
you know,
did.
for
They
James
did.
Harden this year.
They did.
So you might know better than me. I believe Harden might be a free agent after this year, so they got to make a decision,
Yep.
right? And
He's gonna want a bag, or
he's going to want a bag, and they're going to need to take the Raptors to 7 and win at home. Luckily, they have the home court advantage against this Toronto team. If it's going to take all that for them to now, here's the thing: this is going to be if the Cavs win this series, and I think they might pull it out because home court seems to be a huge deal in this one. They might face the Orlando Magic to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's I'm serious. That it's going to be either the Raptors, the Cavs, or the Magic. I mean, unless the Pistons pull off the comeback, which we can't write it off, but that could be one of your representatives, and then you got to go with either the Celtics, the Knicks, or the Hawks. I'm kind of writing off the Sixers at this point with Game 5 going on right now. This is just playing right into the East conversation that we've had all year. Just about the strength of it. It's kind of lining up where that Eastern Conference Finals could be a sweep. If the Celtics get like the Magic.
sweep? You say a sweep?
I'll say a gentleman's sweep. And you think the Celtics can't gentleman sweep any one of those 3 other teams? Magic, Cavs, Raptors? I mean,
if it's early, but if the Magic are clicking, then I don't think they could sweep them.
And I hate to say it, but they might be the strongest of the 3.
Yeah.
Or looking the most consistent in the playoffs. So I don't know. It's the series that I've watched the least, the Cavs Raptors, but it's shocking because it's a 2-2 series, and I should be locked in like I am with the Knicks and Hawks series, which is the other one I want to talk about. Unbelievable series. Sean, I think this one points directly towards your ebbs and flows conversation.
Yep.
This is the definition of it. I mean, we saw the Hawks come out and dominate in the back half in New York, and then at the beginning half in their Atlanta. Then they faltered in Game 4 and pretty much got blown out with Brunson missing a huge chunk of the second half with his, I think it was ankle injury, if I remember, or I forget exactly what it was. But, I mean, he missed almost the entire third quarter. Thanks for screwing my prop bets, Mr. Brunson. But it is what it is. But they didn't really need him. And the guy that has really been stepping up this whole series, and we've talked about it, is our Indiana Hoosier, OG Anunoby, man. He's had a great series. Attacking the glass. He's averaging like 8 to 9 rebounds a game for, a 3-and-D wing guy. That's always crucial. Hitting his threes. We saw him hit some insane end of shot clock shots in Game 3. And obviously they ended up losing that game. And here's the thing. I think overall, if the Knicks have a decent lead, they're going to hold it. If it's a close game, they're going to choke it. And it's kind of the opposite of what we've seen with them because they've been a great fourth quarter team all year. The best, if I'm remembering correctly. But in the close games, they're not closing, man. They're not making the right plays. That shot clock violation or near shot clock violation that they had in Game 3 when Brunson just ran to the corner. I mean, great help defense by Kuminga to come trap him there and then just to get off on absolutely horrible shot at the end. I mean, this team, I just can't get a read on this team. It doesn't give me great confidence in the Knicks. I said at the beginning, I said I'll take the Hawks in 7. And I'm going to stick with that because I just think Brunson is not playing. The Cat and OG Anunoby have been the 2 most impressive guys in this series. And Cat's actually been consistent. Can't really hate on him. So
he's been
the
good.
Hawks, it's going to land on can McCollum or Nickeil Alexander-Walker have a big game with Bridges on one of them, right? If one of them can break through that matchup and – maybe Brunson missing some of Game 4 actually helped the Knicks because he wasn't getting exposed on the defensive end for a whole quarter where the Hawks are coming out of halftime thinking, all right, we got to get on their ass a little bit. So, the Knicks just scare me. The Hawks are not the greatest team in the league. Jalen Johnson is actually, in my opinion, underperformed in this series outside of Game 3. But I just think the way McCollum's been playing, I think he could end up hitting a couple of those big shots to take them over the top. So I still like the Hawks in the series, but it is the one that I am most dialed into, most excited about, the complete opposite of that Cavs Raptors series.
To build off that, like the Knicks, I'm obviously locked into the Knicks. At least
Mhm.
I'm a New Yorker now, so I'm a little more locked in on this team
True.
a little more, just a little more with Jalen Brunson and these guys right now. And I gotta say, the CJ McCollum renaissance right now, he's shooting 50% in this series right now. He's
Mhm.
shooting 50% in the series, and he's averaging 25 a game. And obviously, his worst game was last game. He still shot 53%, and they kind of just pulled him because the game was over. The game
Yep.
was kind of over, and they just benched him in pretty much majority of the fourth quarter. So he was on pace to get 20 again, but the game was a blowout, so they didn't really need him, so they decided to rest him. But looking at the series right now, I'm like, they need McCollum to keep having these games, because if he doesn't have these big performances offensively, the team kind of struggles when CJ McCollum doesn't carry this offense right now. Because I'm looking at this team on paper, and even when I see them play against this Knicks team, where this Knicks team ain't the greatest defense, like it is a very suspect defense, I would have to say. But they were able to hold the 98 points of the Atlanta Hawks last game, and I think a lot to do it is this Atlanta Hawks team is not an explosive offense. They get their going when they get their defense, get some turnovers going, energy from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Kuminga. These guys give them some good energy, get some fast break points. They can't really score in the half court that effectively outside of CJ McCollum. Like outside of that, because if you look at these other guys, Okongwu, who's not a great scorer, even Jalen Johnson. I think I know you're saying Jalen Johnson needs to be more aggressive. Like I know he last couple of games he's setting for a lot of threes. Like I think he's a decent 3-point shooter, but 1 for 5, 2 for 6, 0 for 3, 3 for 7. He's shooting 28% from 3.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of threes right now in this season. That's one thing I noticed with them is Jalen Johnson is tucking them up. But obviously, if you were hitting sub 30, maybe you should attack the basket a little more. Like because
and he did in game 3. He did in game 3, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in game 3, that's when he scored his high with 24 points that game. But he needs to be more aggressive for them to have success, because like as much as I love CJ McCollum, I don't know if he can maintain this high level of scoring of 25 points a game on 50% shooting, because I just think that's asking a lot for a veteran guard at the age of 34, because those are all-star numbers, 25 on 50% shooting. And without him putting those numbers up, I think they have no chance at all. And right now with Jalen Brunson, obviously he's had a slow series. Like he had a slow series. So I think the Knicks are actually in a good situation, being the series is tied. And I think Brunson is going to rise a little more, because he had that amazing game 1. But after that, for Brunson standards, where this guy puts up close to 30 a game in the playoffs for the New York Knicks, he hasn't played up to that caliber, and he had a couple of off games, especially shooting-wise. Last game, obviously, I'll give him a break. He left with an injury, but he had 19 points of 39% shooting. And even game 2, he shot 39% too. So he's shooting 42% in this series, where in the playoffs, he's usually substantially higher than that. So his efficiency hasn't been there. And with that, I think he's going to regress and get better as the series goes on in this series. So I feel like the Knicks are in a perfect situation where I think Brunson's going to give more A performances instead of these B's and C type of performances. So right now, I feel pretty good about the Knicks and taking care of business definitely tonight and winning this series right now. This cute little Atlanta Hawks story. That's all I see it is. It's a cute story. Mr. Levi himself. Oh, man, turning back the clock, dropping 25 a game. All these random groups of guys and rebuilding on the fly. It's a great, cute story. But
they'll be good next year. But
that's what I'm saying. Their time is not now. Next year, when they get a nice little lottery pick, add to these guys, maybe a free agency, add some vets to help this core develop and so. Okay, now we're talking right now. But I still believe that the New York Knicks right now, oh my God, there is a lot of pressure. But I'm still putting my money on the Knicks right now, taking care of this Atlanta Hawks team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win the next 2. Yep.
Close it out in Atlanta. Close it out.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of those losses. Like those were just those 1-point losses. Like they could have been up 3-0 if they took care of business. Especially game 2. Game 2 is just inexcusable. Game 3 they obviously have to come back, but game 2 is inexcusable. Like they were in pretty much full control of this series until they had a massive choke job, and then obviously Atlanta blasted them in game 3. But this is a team that the New York Knicks should take care of, and I believe they will, because I believe Brunson will play a lot better than his previous couple of games, especially the last 2 games where
they need him.
Think he played that well. I don't think he played that well for Brunson's standards.
Yeah, Brunson, I don't know if it's just I'm trying to think, like, did he have injury? Did he have something slowing him up towards the end of the season? It just looks like it's very hard for him to score. And obviously, when he became like this star that he is now, with him being left-handed and getting into the lane, he's always been a physical player, but it just feels like in this series, it just looks a little bit more tougher. Like when he gets into the middle of the lane, it's not as fluid with him getting either a jump shot or getting to the basket or whatever with like his pump fake. Because he's the king of get to the middle lane, pump fake, try to get you into a foul baiting situation, or he'll just throw his body into you and get the call because he's earned that because I guess he's a superstar now or star, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, but that series, I've always been confident in the Knicks. Cat being super consistent is something that I did not expect them to be or to be in a position to have. And I kind of think that going forward, which I think they can get through this series, is going to be a very key point in when they play Boston. And like I said, I know they're playing the Sixers right now, but they're probably going to wrap that up. But when I think they play Boston, not so much Jalen Brunson, but Cat just being a consistent, just what he's doing currently. And I know it's going to be a little bit tougher probably with Boston, but him in his current version right now, I think gives him a really good chance to beat Boston because I think already last year, and I know Tatum went down in that game, but they kind of controlled that series. They already have the confidence of knowing they're going to be able to hang with Boston. And again, they have kind of their two, as they would call it, chess pieces with Mikal and Anunoby to kind of stick on Jalen and Tatum. Not saying they're going to slow them down, but I'm just saying it's going to be a point where, hey, they can bother him a little bit on certain positions. And I will say that right now, looking at how Jason Tatum has played in the Sixers series, that I was a little bit wrong about him not being in the – like I didn't think Jason Tatum was going to be bad, but I didn't think he's going to be as good as he is or has been in this series. Like I didn't think he was going to be in a space where he's hitting, basically not game-winning shots, but like game-clinching shots in terms of like, hey, the game is over now. And I didn't think he was going to be able to get in that space as fast. I thought it was going to be maybe in the second round we would see more of that. So
and he looks playmaking, Sean. He's playmaking a lot too.
Mm-hmm. So they're all systems to go. And like I said, when you got Peyton Pritchard and other guys off the bench just doing other things too, like it makes it seem like, okay, Boston looks like they can control this. But if you're the Knicks, if you take care of business and win the next two, then you're going to put yourself in a position where I think they could hang toe-to-toe with Boston. So I think the Knicks can get this done. I agree with Zoo. With Atlanta, it just feels like it's CJ or bust. And if CJ's not getting to that 25, 30, whatever point mark, I don't really trust anybody else. Kuminga's been solid, which is just, in my eyes, like, okay, that's a nice building block for next year. But I just don't really see it. Like, they'd have to get this game for me to have even a chance of them thinking they could win it. But, yeah, looking at the other East series, obviously, like, touching on Orlando and Detroit. Yeah, I kind of just want to give Detroit not a pass, but I kind of just want to give them, like, Cade specifically. He hasn't played the best, especially in this last game. I feel like he could have played a little bit better, and I feel like his shot was a little off.
Yep.
But I will say the only reason why I feel like I'm giving him the pass because no one expected Durant to play how he's playing right now. Like, this is an all-NBA guy. So if you're just looking at it before the series start, you're like, okay, it's like if I'm just a coach on the couch and I'm a Detroit Pistons sicko fan, I'm like, okay, he's going to dominate his matchup, even though Suggs may bother him, and Durant is going to destroy Wendell Carter. Okay, we got those two. So now let's see where our other advantages. You're already putting those in the bank.
Yeah.
And Cade has brought his lunch pail for the most part, but Durant has just not even been serviceable. Like, there's been points if I'm the coach, like Bickerstaff, if I'm looking at my other coaches on the staff, like, can we have him out here? Because it just kind of looks like he's going through the motions. Like, I don't know if it's more so, and like I said before the pod, like, I joke when I say it's like there might be a thing between him and Wendell. There might be some extra motivation, which I think is true, but I don't think that's the entire factor. I think Wendell looked at this matchup as like, okay, like, I get it. Like, you're the guy, you're the all-NBA guy, but like Wendell Carter's not a slouch. Like, he was drafted highly too. He came from Duke.
Yes, he was.
Like, he feels like he can play. So like, I think he looked at this matchup as more so like, I take it personal because maybe I have something, off the court that is maybe of a prized possession. But also, like, I look at you as equal. I don't look at you as like you're just this all-NBA guy, even though it shows that Durant is obviously the better player. But it just feels like he's not got any type of defensive presence anymore. And I hate to always be like, the cop out, like, maybe it's an injury somewhere. I'm not going to assume that. I'm going to assume that he's just not having a good series. And it happens to young players. And unfortunately with Detroit, It is very, very, very glaring. When he is not on his game, they have no chance. So like, I think the series is over. It goes to 6, but if you're Detroit, you really got to go into the offseason and make like a lot of like when they have exit meetings, like there's a lot of guys going to have some uncomfortable conversation, including Durant, because it's like
Duncan Robinson.
Look at this roster. Yeah, you look at this roster. It's like Cade is the only guy who's off limits. Like everybody else can be expended. Like they could be out the door. So trades can be made. Like because you just can't be in a position like how they was like only having those 2 guys. And if you're only going to have 2 guys, you can't have Durant being the guy that's just not going to make plays and make an impact. Because even defensively, I just don't see him there. So that's just tough. And that's not to take away from Orlando because I'm one of the biggest proponents of Orlando. But I was also sick and tired of them because they're just not consistent.
Yep.
But look now.
Now they look great.
Desmond Bane is making shots. Like
I'm not saying that they look great. I'm just if you watch that last game, it was one of the most ugly playoff basketball games I've seen. It kind of reminded me of 2000 basketball with the scoring levels because I couldn't believe like he got scoring in the 17s and 19s, and I'm looking at the stats right now. Orlando won shooting 33% from the field, 26% from 3. They only scored 94 points. 94 points.
I'm shocked they even got 94 at that.
I know, because you look over at Detroit, they're shooting 20% from 3 and 38% from the field. Like it's some atrocious offense, right? Because I give it to you, Orlando's
good defense too. On Orlando,
but that offense is just unwatchable. It's actually unwatchable sometimes. As you mentioned, Kate Cunningham, we've said that all regular season. I was kind of shocked they were able to win 60 games. Like 60 games with that roster, because on paper I was like, okay, they got some nice young players, but the veterans, they're all kind of just role players. Like this is not like
Tobias has played well though.
Yeah, he has played well. Tobias has played really well.
Yeah, he has played well. But you're talking about elite level talent of pairing with Cade, because as we've seen, Jalen Duren's a complimentary guy. Like he's not
he's a third guy.
He's a third guy on championship team, because obviously right now, like in the playoffs right now, I don't even know he's a top 5 guy right now after with these performances. But I feel like that's just he's a young guy and he's getting used to the physicality where in the regular season he was kind of punking people, but now you're in the playoffs,
smacking people upside the head and all that. But I don't see none of that energy now.
People just shoving each other on defense. Like the physicality threshold in the playoffs is a different type of game, and I think that's also affecting Cade because he feels the load of that and that physicality. That's why we see his shot right now. He is not hitting his 3-point shot. Like that's the first thing. When you play physical basketball, first thing that goes is your legs. When you lose your legs, that 3-point shot is a little flatter. And Kate Cunningham's 28% from 3. 28%.
That'll do it.
And that's the load he has to carry because he's primary scorer, primary ball handler, and primary playmaker. So I'm like, and he's got a D up too. And he's mentioned, I think the last couple of games, he's gotten really, really tired because you just see the turnovers. He had 8 turnovers last game. 9 turnovers the game before, and 7 turnovers. In the last 3 games, he's averaging 8 turnovers a game. You're averaging 8 turnovers a game when your offense can't get it going. So you're getting 8 extra possessions to Orlando, which is a team that's struggling on offense, but you're giving them extra possessions. Like,
and that's the difference in last game.
Exactly. You can't win any of these games if you keep turning the ball over, and obviously none of his team is stepped up outside, as you guys mentioned. Tobias Harris actually have statistically pretty good series right now.
20-8, man.
Yeah, he's making his money. Like his money's at this value. He's playing up to expectations. So shout out to Tobias Harris, the guy I've hated on for many, many years on the Philadelphia 76ers, because
not Kyle Lowry level, everybody, but he's pushing.
Because they chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. So I would never forgive the Sixers of being that stupid. But he's been playing relatively well. But outside of that, not really, because those role players, they're called role players for a reason. They come and go, man. They come and go. They go 0 for 6 one game, they get hot from 3 the next game. You cannot expect them to produce night after night. Like that is not the expectation. You're supposed to be, okay, you have a hot game, you help your team out. That's why it's a role player. So this year's, I think I told you guys after game 1, I was so impressed by Orlando that I had them as a better team, and they took care of business, and they haven't even played that well. But Franz Wagner is a little banged up right now.
You got the
That's a key. Exactly. That's a key right there. So that might give Detroit some light right now, because he hasn't had the best series, but he's a big body out there, and he's been productive, and he closed some games out for them. So
for sure.
it's just another big body out there, give you good minutes. But that might be a catalyst to help out Detroit in a game of physicality where the other team's getting banged out bodies over there. So now's your chance to take advantage of the injury on the other side because you got a little handicap now because the other team ain't fully healthy now. Ain't fully healthy right now. So because like Jalen Suggs, he's battling through injuries right now. If you saw him last game, he hit 1-3, man.
I know. When I needed him for 2. He went 1 for 9.
1 for 9.
But that shows you his effort on defense because the fact that he's shooting that way and they're still letting him stay on the floor means he's
actually no. This is even crazier. He was actually 1 for 11 from 3.
Oh, he finished 1 for 11. Great.
No, this is the crazy. No, it gets crazier. From the field, he was 1 for 13.
Yeah, he went 0 for 2 on.
He was 1 for 13 from the field, and they still won. Yeah. Are you kidding me? 1 for 13. That's 12 empty possessions when Jalen Suggs shoots the basketball.
Jesus, he needs to stop shooting. That's crazy. Yeah.
He's usually a pretty good 3-point shooter, but
I know that's one of the better shooters. But
get to the line.
1 for 13, and they still won. So
yeah,
like right now, Orlando. Right now, I'm telling you, they're not even playing that well, and they're still beating this Detroit team.
That's the scary part. If they start,
that's the scary part. That's the scary part right now for me personally.
Well, let me ask you guys this because I'm curious: who has a better chance at a 3-1 comeback, the Pistons or the Rockets?
Okay, I love this conversation.
Probably the Pistons, I would say.
Against their knowing where their respective teams are.
Yeah, especially if Durant.
We lost you there, Sean. I think. Man,
I would say. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'd say Pistons because I don't think Durant's coming back. If Durant was coming back, then maybe they'd have to win Game 5 and he comes back Game 6 for me to change my mind.
Stop it.
But I don't
see it. It's over. Like I told you, man.
Both. I think both are probably over.
You think both? Oh, honestly.
Well, the Franz thing, I don't think is Franz like. I know he's missing Game 5, but like I don't think he misses if they win that.
It's a calf injury, and calf injuries linger.
And it's the concern of the Achilles. Yeah,
exactly. We've seen people get a calf injury, come back a little faster, and then blow their Achilles. So I feel like they could be a little safe, especially since they're up in a 3-1 series. So I feel like they're trying to buy time for him, even though that's a dangerous game to play. Because you don't want to be that team that blows another 3-1 series lead against Detroit Pistons. So like obviously that's the one I'm a little more concerned. Like Detroit could probably make it a game versus those pathetic Rockets.
Orlando could definitely go into Game 5 and just be like, we don't care. We're going to bring it back to Orlando, which I always hate to get the teams that do like we got the home game and get. That's not because then it's like you're playing with fire because it's like it's not a guarantee you're going to win at home. So it's like you need to like close it out. And I still think even with Franz being hurt, they have enough to because Detroit is literally Cade and. So, like, if Cade is just going to be off, then I think if Orlando just plays average, they could win that game on the road. Mm-hmm. Versus when we talk about, like LA and Houston, it's just I feel like they got Houston kind of.
And Reeves might play in Game 5, supposedly.
If I was Lakers, I wouldn't win.
But I think I'll say this: I think the Rockets win Game 5, and then. It's in LA, which then would bring Game 6 back to Houston, which could be interesting. And they could 4-7. No, I don't think they're going to win the series. But what I will say is, and I said this last time, and Zoo, we were talking about this. Amen Thompson started shooting the ball last game, and it was falling from mid-range. His mid-range game looked very good last game. He had a great game. Sengun has been way more aggressive as well. If that's how they're going to play,
why, right?
Sengun?
You know why, right?
Because KD ain't there.
Yeah, because you got the cancer out of there, man. Got in this.
He's on the bench. What do you mean he's on the bench last game?
No. Yeah, you see,
he was worse in Game 3.
He was on the bench because they were actually winning the game. But the game without him, oh no, KD was nowhere to be seen, man. I'm telling you,
he was there from the start, Zoo. What does that even mean?
You know what that
he was there at the start of the game. They didn't know they were going to win at that point. You know, come on, man.
I'm telling the KD is the biggest band. Like, of course,
I'm so out on KD. Him talking junk on the bench is just like so funny.
I didn't bring up Kevin Durant. I'm talking about the guys on the floor. I'm talking about
Zoo was about to. That's why I started laughing.
Because look,
I knew Zoo was going to say that.
What has Luke Kennard done in the last 2 games?
Okay, he's
nothing.
obviously not.
What has Marcus Smart done in the last 2 games?
Well,
And what
game
has
3 was
LeBron
pretty
done in the
critical.
last and what has LeBron done in the last 2 games?
Yeah, last game was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
So my point is
Yeah.
that the Lakers came out with the Rockets thinking, okay, we got to face at that point. What they knew, Luka and Reeves were probably going to be out. You have no idea how to game plan for that team. You don't know what Marcus Smart's going to be doing out there. Kennard, Rui Hachimura. Obviously, you know LeBron for what he is, but it took a couple games for them to figure it out. Yeah, they blew that one game, but they were figuring them out.
That one game was,
and that was an
that
IQ
is a-
issue.
yeah,
100%.
that was a nail in the coffin.
the nail in the
that's a
coffin.
nail. Yes, 3-0. If they come back from 3-0,
Just
then I
travel,
don't know,
Reed.
like-
Just travel.
like,
You
that
ain't
would
got to
be-
dribble.
that
Just
would be
travel and they
insane.
win.
Exactly.
He just travels with the ball. He wins.
Literally just travel. But my point is that like the Rockets have started to look better. I know it could be too little too late, and I agree it probably is too little too late, but they are trending upwards on both sides of the ball against this Lakers team. I would not be surprised if they potentially force a game 7 and lose in LA, because at that point Reeves will have his legs back underneath him. Obviously, we know Doncic is actually supposedly probably also out for the second round, from what I've heard, if they face
That's
the
a
Thunder.
bad injury.
So that's completely
The
write
hamstring.
them off. But we're talking about adding Austin Reeves back without Doncic. We know what he can do. But if Sengun and Thompson are that aggressive offensively, I would not be surprised if this at least gets pushed to 6 games, if not 7,
Yeah,
because
I'm sure
Houston will have home court in game 6. So obviously tomorrow's a huge game, win or go home for Houston. I wouldn't be shocked if they win that game, though.
As you mentioned, the IQ in some of these games for a
Brutal.
playoff team. Some college basketball has IQ in some of these end of the games because, not gonna lie, man, that end of the Lakers Rockets game, I was so hyped. I was like, dang,
Yeah, it's
did
insane.
that just happen? LeBron hitting the 3, Marcus Smart with the steal and getting the foul for 3 free throws.
Tari
Rui
Eason,
Hach-
come on, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Rui
Oh, my
Hachimura
God.
with the putback. Oh my goodness, we saw Reed Shepherd trying to dribble in between 2 guys, turning it over. Jabari Smith just being a dodo bird. Like I seen it all in that game. Like I'm just looking, I'm like, is this actually a
You know who
big-game
didn't?
playoff game?
KD, because he wasn't on the bench.
Oh no, we saw those turnovers the previous game with
I know.
9
I'm talking about
turnovers. So let's
See,
not, like,
people, you keep
I'm telling
activating, though. You keep activating.
so I'm telling you, like the turnovers is part of the bloodline of this team.
True.
And as I mentioned to you, Pat, I lost all respect for this team when they lost to the Chicago Bulls, a team actively tanking. They trade away their entire roster to lose games, and the Rockets are trying to make the playoffs and have a higher seed. They were trying, and they still lost to this team. So after that, I told you. This is why I told you at the beginning of the series. I was told you I'm leading the Lakers over this Rockets team right now, man. I told you they had an opportunity to get it done against this roster because I thought the IQ on this team was just kind of low. It was kind of low, and we saw that.
Head coach
needs
to take a brunt of that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know
Ime Udoka is exhibiting some Doc Rivers symptoms. Finger game. Oh my guys, what do you guys? You're the head coach. You get paid millions of dollars. Put your young guys in situations to succeed because obviously you're not doing your job right now, and you calling them idiots and being young and inexperienced. Man, you made you young and inexperienced.
Yeah.
Man, your IQ off the court a little suspect. So let's hope. So let's focus on the court and take care of business instead of blaming your team, blaming your players, and look in the mirror yourself and get your team to play better because you were heavy favorites. You were minus 600 favorites this series. The Lakers were the underdogs. You had the roster. Like, come on now. Like, you had expectations this year to get it done while that Lakers team were without 2 of their best players. So you got to look in the mirror. Ime Udoka, you did a good job with the Celtics, but it looks like Celtics doing quite well without you.
Update your resume. Yeah,
exactly. Joe Mazzulla, you won that championship. Joe Mazzulla got a bunch of injuries and got it done. Look at you.
Udoka is following the Mark Jackson routine, man. Pretty much built the team, but then didn't get to reap the benefits. And he's going to join broadcasting soon. Real quick, because back to your point with that Bulls-Rockets game. I was just looking because I was curious at the stats.
I remember that game.
Okay.
Katie had
this
40.
is crazy. Sengun was 16 of 19 from the field that game. He had 33. KD was 15 of 23 for 40. Amen Thompson, 8 of 12 for 23. Reed Shepherd and Jabari Smith combined 7 for 27 in that game. And no one else had a bad game. They literally threw the game, those two, and that's been exactly the issue with this team. Those 2 guys, man, and then Eason's trickled in a little bit. But yeah.
Let me ask you.
so ugly to watch them play.
How different would this team look? It just came in my head when for some reason, when you mentioned Reed Sheppard again. How different would this team look if they just would have drafted Stephon Castle instead of Reed?
I literally said this to Zoo over the weekend. That was their biggest.
They would be. I think. I honestly think
he blames development. He blames development.
I think the Spurs' development's a little different. They develop,
and that's why.
Because I remember Castle was a pretty raw prospect coming in. Like I watched him in UConn a lot, and he's still not a great shooter, but he was still learning the game of basketball. Obviously, he's a physical freak. Like he's actually a physical freak at like a 6'4", 6'5" combo guard. Like he could dunk, he could jump. He's really strong. But
yeah,
I think he needed development. And obviously, that Spurs system, they developed all
they're top notch at that.
And the Rockets, I don't know about their development. So the Spurs is first class.
Yep.
I mean, they did develop James Harden. I don't know, but that was like eons ago. But James Harden was probably already pre-made and ready to go. But my bigger point is, for sure, my bigger point is when you look at that, and it's like on the surface, I still would take Stephon Castle. But yes, I think what this entire playoffs are going to like bear out, regardless of who makes the finals, and I want to go back to real quick in the East. Like I have to give a shout out to CMB, local kid in Columbia, South Carolina, went to University of South Carolina, stayed home, and became a top 10 pick, and is now impacting that series.
He's balling.
Part of the reason that I feel like he's impacting is because he's, to your point of what most of the Toronto Raptors roster is a bunch of 6'7", 6'8" guys who can just run around, defend. Mm-hmm. You know, some of them can shoot, not really, but they're like active defenders. And I think what we've seen over the last couple of years, and I don't want to blame Steph Curry, but he's part of the problem of Steph came in as the shooter, undersized shooting guard, who is the greatest shooter ever. So I think people were trying to, and not as much, I feel like in the next couple of years, because people are kind of catching on to it, but like, let's just say the last 10, 15 years of this obsession with guards that can shoot at a high clip. And to me, when I watch just the playoffs, like I still, and this is random, but when I was watching that Cavs Raptors first game, when the Cavs were playing them and they kind of started pulling them out, just watching guys come off of screens and it just like they were literally tackling each other. This league is still built around guys who are long, athletic, tall, and strong. And I think sometimes we lose the plot with the 6'2", 6'3" guy who can run off a screen and shoot an elite clip when this league still, like I just said, revolves around those guys that are in that Colin Murray Bulls mold. Like coming out of South Carolina, he was not a shooter. And part of the reason why I think he went towards the back end of like not number 9, number 10, and it's not the back end, but like 9 and 10 range, is because he didn't have a three-point shot. And people were so obsessed with that. But it's like when you watch the tape, he's active. Like he's pinning the basketball against the backboard to the likes of Mobley and Jared Allen, who's these 6'11", 7-foot guys. Yeah. Right. Now his wingspan does help with that. But to me, it just overemphasizes the point. Even when we go into the draft, like the draft stuff, it's like you just need to always keep in mind and this is just not like I'm preaching and chastising to GMs, but it's just like Reed Sheppard is a good player. He might end up being fringe all-star one day, maybe. But these obsession with these 6'2", 6'3" guys, if they're not a point guard, I don't care what they're shooting from the field. Give me the 6'8" guy who we can develop. Yep. Because obviously when you come with Colin Murray Boyles, and I can just say that because he's, like I said, he's personal. I've watched his game develop. Like he was an undersized power forward who's now making impactful plays in the playoffs. And that's because he's just a guy who's an athlete, who's also the defender, who hustles. He guarded Donovan Mitchell on the last play and made him fumble the ball out of bounds. Like that matters. So I think with Houston and just other teams as well, like you just got to be wary. Because I do think if they had a guy who was like Reed Sheppard size, but like a true point guard, because Reed is just a shooting guard. He's undersized shooting guard. If he was
Darius
a point guard, yeah, I think this series might be different because you got a guy who can get the Shaguns, the Amen Thompsons, the Jabari Smiths into plays that matter. So it's just like, with just going forward with a lot of these teams, it's like we just got to get out of this obsession with guys that can shoot. Like and it's probably because I'm annoyed because I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts as well. We got to get more Reed Sheppard minutes. For what? He sucks on defense and he's not hitting shots. Why does he need more minutes? Yeah. Why? Someone explain to me why he needs more minutes. So you can just keep getting exposed so LeBron can guard him? Because that's too, like LeBron can just gets to guard him all day now. It's like he loves when Reed Sheppard is out there because he don't have to do much. It's like I don't want to see the other guards that you got to deal with. So I don't know. That's just something that's just a pet peeve. And like everybody's not great at roster building, but it's like
it's hard.
don't overthink this. Don't overthink it.
Because
Pick the 6'7" guy.
For every CMB you get, though, you get a Patrick Williams. Let's be honest. That's not
It's true.
an art form.
Is that the Bulls or is that Patrick Williams? Which one
Both.
is it?
Both.
It's probably Patrick Williams, but still,
but you get my point. Like, even the raw 3-and-D guy who can't really shoot but has a lot of potential, plays good defense, it's still an art form, and you still gotta test it out. Everyone, for a while, it was everyone was looking for their Steph Curry. Then it was everyone's looking for the Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was really kind of the first guy to really push this
that mold
kind of role player. I'd call San Diego State a mid-major school, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That Florida State in basketball terms, they're great schools and they're big in football for Florida State, but like their basketball program was kind of that mid-major level of the high majors, and it's still a crapshoot. But everyone fell in love with finding their Kawhi Leonard, and I think the Bulls fell into that. The Raptors have hit on that. The Bucks hit on it with Giannis, obviously, kind of around the same time, different player, but just projecting upside with size. And to your point, you're kind of deciding between that. You're the undersized guard or the 3-and-D guy with a lot of raw talent. And
in this league going forward, it's just if you're drafting guys at that 6, they gotta be, because there's just not a lot of guys that are Reed Shepherds. Even just look at just Reed Shepherd, but look at all the guys who are like around that. There's not a lot of those guys in the league left. So it's like I know you would think, well, he's a shooter, but it's like, and Reed Shepard's not a bad athlete, but it's just more of a trend. It's just, to me, it's easier, and I know this sounds blasphemous, but it's easier to find a Kawhi archetype than the Reed Shepherd archetype, because the Reed Shepherd archetype has to be like Steph. There's more guys that's like Kawhi than there is like Steph.
Or Kyrie. You need a Kyrie or a Steph Curry. Those are
and Kyrie is like
diamonds in the rough.
He's an alien. He's an alien. But switching it to really quick, we just go to Denver, Minnesota. I will say that Minnesota is on, like, if you had a scale of 1 to 10, like they're on a 7 right now, because I love Ayu Dosunmu, love Julius Randle, Jan McDaniels, foxhole guy, but it's going to be hard for me to assume that all 3 of those guys are just good. And then just throwing Terrence Shannon and Bones Highland for a 10-point.
Naz Reid.
Piece. Yeah, Naz Reid, like energy. But it's going to be hard for me to see like 2 out of those 3 main guys, first guys I said, having like, I don't want to say career nights, but like insane nights where they're like basically 25 and up or something, or 25 and 20. It's going to be hard for me to picture it. It'd be cool if they did, because I kind of feel like the team that game 4 was super inspirational in terms of just like Ayo going off and other guys coming up to the plate. So it's kind of like, just as a who doesn't have a team or fight, or I guess a horse in that race, I kind of am rooting for the Timberwolves just because of their energy and stuff. And this is weird, but I'm kind of becoming like a little bit of a Gobert fan, because he just feels like his contract is, if his contract was just as insane as it was, if he just had just take off $45 million, whatever, like I think he'd be appreciated more, because
for sure
his effort in terms of just all over the place in that, square, like the paint. He's just active and he's making Jokic work. So it's like, I do appreciate that a guy who we all know he's a defensive guy, but like it still takes a certain type of dude to know, like, okay, I'm only maybe going to get putbacks. They're running no plays for me, and I may get to the line if I can get a rebound and get fouled. Like, it still takes a certain kind of guy to have to do that every night, and you're going against one of the greatest players in the world. So like, I do appreciate that. That's kind of like why I'm rooting for the Timberwolves in that. I hate that DiVincenzo, we all know when you see that push off, you just know that's going to be an Achilles. And it's something about these playoffs, and just, I don't know what it is, but it's just a lot of guys just are tearing their Achilles left and right. It's been way more than I've ever seen in my lifetime. And then obviously with Anthony Edwards and that weird fall, like he's probably going to be out for the extended amount of weeks. So it is very unfortunate. But it's like with Denver, it's simple. Like I said before the playoffs, I don't like any of their guys that were supporting role players. Aaron Gordon was standing because he kind of proved it last year and years before in their title run. I just didn't like any of the guys. Like, if you're Denver, you're looking like, wait, we got Cam Johnson? We kept Michael Porter Jr. Could have just kept him. Why the hell? What is Cam Johnson doing? He's been impactful, in the game 5.
Okay,
now
Michael Porter Jr. was more contract.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was contract, but
it was not.
It's like
it was not just the player.
They're not going to be able to sign him. Fair, but it's like I don't know who's a player who's a wing that's maybe the same size as him that can maybe do what he does. Because Cam Johnson to me feels like a player who, on paper, looks like it makes sense. And obviously, if you're playing with Jokic, I could see like a shooter on the wing. Like obviously Jokic just throw outlet passes to him, stuff like that. But he's not stepping up. All those other guys, like, cool. They're just that Jamal Murray's been playing well, but it's just kind of been they've been and Jokic hasn't been good, which has kind of been the more surprising part.
Yeah,
like
I got to go in on my man. I got to go in on my man Jokic because this is probably the worst playoff series
to his standard.
Prime. Like in his prime standard, like he's been god awful. Like god awful. One thing I noticed about Jokic is his 3-point shot in the playoffs.
It's dead. I don't know what happened.
It's non-existent. Like he can't even rely on his 3-point shot, which is kind of crazy to say because in the regular season he's kind of muddy in the like he was a 38% 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
like he was a 38% 3-point shooter, and I don't know if it's because of the physicality of the game or something good. He lost all I think like ability to shoot the three this series. He's shooting 19%.
Brutal.
19. He shot 38. Pretty much his regular season percentage got cut in half. And I don't think it's a coincidence because against Gobert right now, I think something about this matchup right now has usually got into his head. The physicality of the game, obviously. We've noticed the physicality. Like he got in a fight for a reason. He's a little angry. Like the people in the Timberwolves over there, they ain't afraid of Jokic because they match up with them in the playoffs and they know his game. And obviously last year he played a lot better than this year, but I feel like the physicality is getting to him. Rudy Gobert is bothering him on those little teardrop floaters and those little hook shots where he usually is just automatic. And when on those shots, he just shoots 60%, but he's missing those bunnies too. Mm-hmm. So he's shooting 19% from three on 1 for 6. Like he's on 6 attempts a game right now. That's a lot of attempts and a lot of misses right now. 42% from the field. Like Jokic is a 55% guy. Like Jokic is a highly efficient offensive player, and he's on 8 for 20. This is more like a Kobe stat line, like a high volume.
Allen Iverson,
Allen Iverson. Like it's like a high volume guys that's their role in the offense. Jokic is not high volume, but like he's an efficient guy. So obviously 42%, that is unacceptable. Like obviously he's still putting up. It's funny, like Jokic on a bad series, he's putting up 25, 9, and 14. That's a bad Jokic series. So he's always putting up a triple double. But especially that game, I was game 4 when he shot 8 for 22, 0 for 3 from 3.
Fourth quarter, he was non-existent.
Oh, horrible. Yeah, like they lost 112-96. They got outscored 12 points in the money quarter, the fourth quarter. And that is off a game where the game before they got defeated by 119-96, and Jokic shot 7 for 26.
Oof.
2 for 10 from 3. Are you kidding me?
Gobert.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Gobert.
As much as Gobert sucks in offense, he sucks. He sucks at a level I've never seen before because he's a non-factor on offense. His defense is slowing down the MVP, like a 3-time MVP. He's putting his money's worth right now because bothering Jokic at this extent, especially the efficiency. Like Jokic is not having that game right now. And all the props to Gobert because they're single coveraging.
Yeah.
They don't need to double team him.
They don't need to help.
Jokic thrives the most when he gets double teamed. He just passes to open guys to get them going.
Yep.
And if you don't need to double team him, and when Jokic is one-on-one and not scoring efficiently, their offense cannot run at all because they rely on Jokic getting double teamed to create offense for the role players. So, like, as much as I love my boy Jokic, right? Like, I'm glad he's not getting MVP this year. I don't think he deserves, especially with this playoff series right now. His team underperformed the regular season, and right now in the playoffs, they're underperforming too because they are playing against a T-Wolves team. I think talent-wise outmatched, and now they're injured. So if they lose to an injured team without their entire backcourt, think about that.
I might rather have Io than Dante DiVincenzo, though. Let's be honest.
Obviously, but that's your starting backcourt.
Yeah.
Like, that's your starting backcourt.
Correct.
They lost their.
I would not want Mike Conley.
No.
Bones Highland.
Bones Highland. sucks. He just sucks. Low IQ.
He's a
sucks.
6th man, 7th man. He's just not.
Yeah.
He's a Jordan Clarkson type. He's a Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, that might be disrespectful to Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, except he's a little dumber.
Right. Current
yeah.
Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, he's a little dumber. Like Bones Highland got an IQ of a dodo bird. There's a reason he didn't want to play with the Denver Nuggets.
He should just join Houston. Houston will sign him next year.
Houston probably will sign him. They'll probably sign him.
Oh my god.
They'll be like, this is going to help our. This is going to help our point guard situation. We're going to bring in Bones Highland. Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree. Look, if the Nuggets lose this series, I'm going to be shocked. I mean, I think this is probably this could be the easiest 3-1 comeback of all time if they want it.
Yes, with the injuries. It's not the same team now.
You want to know what really pissed me off in Game 5? It's the commentators being like, well, Jaden McDaniels was talking all about this defense, but the Nuggets have really turned it around tonight. I'm like, they're missing Anthony Edwards, man. They're missing their best player. Naz Reid's like face planting on the half court right now. Dante DiVincenzo's out. That removes an entire 3-point threat that Ayo Dosunmu usually does not bring to that same level that Dante can. And Dante has actually been a very good playmaker for them as kind of that true point guard role. And I would actually give credit to, I know they brought him back mid-year, but Dante could learn a lot from Mike Conley, just being kind of more of a floor general, complement the running off the screen, kind of trying to be a little Klay Thompson, Steph Curry-ish like he was in New York for so long, and then his early days in Minnesota. But with this Nuggets, like my point is, I don't want to applaud the Nuggets. I'm not like, oh, they're going to win the series, and then they're going to go into San Antonio and they'll take it in 6 or 7 games. Like, Either way, Jokic has a very difficult. Right now, he's going through Gobert. He's going to have to go through Wemby. Now, Wemby also has to deal with Jokic. He ain't dealing with the Donovan Klingons and Robert Williams of the world. If whoever moves out of this series,
that's child's play.
Yeah. It's Gobert or Jokic. I know Jokic isn't the best defender, but he's a bigger body. Obviously, going to take a lot more effort for Wemby to guard him on the defensive side. But the thing for me is, can one of these, either Julius Randle or Ayo Dosunmu, in the next 2 games,
the guy,
have one of their virtuoso performances, which we haven't heard Zeus say since NFL season? Can they put up on it? Because I think if they get a huge game from either one of those guys, with how inconsistent the role players are, and Jokic, to be fair, and Murray even have played this entire series, the T-Wolves could steal a game. And I would hate to see Jaden McDaniels, if they lose this game. I think he would go and fight Jokic in game 6 or 7, or in game 7 if they were to be losing at any time. But it's just hard for me to see the T-Wolves closing the series out comfortably, whether it be game 6 or even in a game 7. I just think the Nuggets are going to be too much. Jokic isn't going to let it happen.
They have to do it in game 6. They have to.
They have to. They have to win game 6. I agree.
That's their game 7.
It's in Minnesota. It's your chance. You do have your crowd. It's where Ayo popped off. I mean, it's setting itself up. But I know the NBA is licking their chops at either one of these teams winning and then being able to face Wemby, because that will be the big viewership series in the Western Conference.
Let's just keep it a buck. I mean, salute to Denver or to Minnesota, but if we're the NBA, we are kind of.
They want Wembanyama.
They won't Wembanyama at least in the conference.
They are salivating a Wemby versus
and
OKC.
Lord, if the Spurs get to the finals, that is just like Adam Silver is just like over the moon, because that's just kind
and then the Bulls get the first overall pick in the lottery. Oh, that'd just be a beautiful few months.
Right my God.
That's you're right there. But it feels like that's inevitably where it's trending towards, and we'll see how things play out. But I will say, like, to your point, Jokic this series has just kind of been rough, and we'll see what Shea, I know it was okay, it was Phoenix, but it's like Shea, I think that game 3 kind of was going a little off. Like, he's kind of like, the door is open now. Like, I think it's like kind of he's the like guy now for like, okay, and I don't necessarily want to say they have to win the championship, because I think too what also gets lost is like Jokic only has 1 ring. Like, I think that gets lost. He's just so dominant that it kind of just covers up for it. But it's like, if Shea were to repeat, which hasn't happened, so I'm not betting that at all, but it's just saying, like, because you got Wembanyama, and he's the freak show that's like, okay, Wembanyama could just come up and be like, Jokic, you got your 1. Shea, you got your 1. It's my conference now. That could totally be a reality. So it's like this, and this could be the coming of that. Like, this is the year where like Wembanyama's like, cool, Shea, glad you got it last year because
it's going to be on De'Aaron Fox's shoulders. Ironically, I do think if he plays well, they're very hard to beat.
Yeah,
you know what Wemby's going to give.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mentioned SGA right now. He's kind of when he's in the playoffs, he's just kind of automatic. Like
he's
nothing really changed from regular season to playoffs. Like his numbers are actually even better right now. Like he put up 34 a game on 55% shooting. And he's just kind of just going half.
How many free throws?
He got 12.
Well, we already know.
But he's shooting 55 from the line. Yeah. And he put up 8 assists a game, which is not a big part of his game. So he got put up 8 assists a game on 34 points a game in the first round of the series. Like SGA right now is putting up a guard level performance we haven't seen for probably since like Kobe Bryant statistically. And maybe even Michael Jordan at the guard position, because 30 points on 50% shooting at the guard position, really, really hard to do, especially at the guard position. He's done that. And it looks like it's the OKC Invitational at home in the conference finals, because it looks like it's a smooth path for them right now. It looks like a very, very smooth path. So you either get the idiot Rockets, that's an easy sweep, or the banged up old Lakers. Like that path for them, like
it's the joke.
They deserve that path. Like they got that path because they were the number one team. Yeah. They earned that in the regular season. So they deserve easy path. And they get 4-0. They might 4-0 the next round. And then you get to play maybe the Spurs or Denver or whoever. So I feel like this is the path for them to go back-to-back right now. This path right now is very, very clear. And they're even doing this without their second best player. Like their second best player, like low-key, they could probably trade Jalen Williams for draft picks and young guys, and the team wouldn't really change.
And they will. They probably will.
Yeah, because in that offense, it's funny. It's like
this is unbelievable.
Who's this AJ Mitchell guy? Like, who is this guy? Like, this guy just going off right now. I'm like, they just seem to get young guys that come in and produce immediately. Because I'm just like AJ Mitchell put up 22 points in a playoff game.
Yeah,
like who that? Who that? Isaiah Hartenstein just signed him. They got him in the big acquisition. He put him 18 and 12. Like, they just get guys in and they produce immediately. So I'm just like, they're not even fully healthy and they're coasting. So, like, they're going to make it to the finals right now. And it looks like they're probably going to repeat if they stay healthy. But it is very, very impressive what Sam Presti has built, because he built something that's sustainable, which is very, very hard in this league, as you've seen with both the Nuggets and Bucks and these teams trying to repeat, the Celtics trying to repeat.
It's hard, man.
It's very, very hard. It's very
difficult.
Hard.
And it's the league
very,
is
very hard. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, just like to close it, because I know we got the NFL. It's going to keep getting harder. Like, it's going to be more difficult with better players we're going to assume the lesser teams. It's just the talent is going to continue to spread. And it's just going to make these playoffs and things like that a little bit more difficult. So salute to those organizations who are probably on a crash course. But real quick, NFL, P-Bush, who is your one team that you were very excited about in terms of their draft, the end of their draft?
Well, I don't want to say excited because, this team, they get the hype every year. I think you know where I'm going with this. They get the hype every year, and they always come up short, man. They're great on one side of the ball, absolutely atrocious on the other. Made an absolutely huge trade last year that they knew they had to focus on in this draft, and that's the Dallas Cowboys, man. They went almost entirely on defense. I think 5 out of their 7 picks, they went on the defensive side. They drafted, I think, 3 or maybe 4 edges. They drafted 3 to 4 pass rushers. Not at the interior. They were all edge guys. But not only that, but they've got Caleb Downs at 11. That was what impressed me. I didn't think he'd fall out of like that top 7, 8. For him to fall at 11, you saw the Cowboys salivating, and they traded up immediately to go get this guy. I think they made a decent signing in the offseason too, so they pretty much shored up their back end with the 2 safeties. I believe they also drafted kind of a depth piece at corner in the mid to late rounds in this draft. But Malachi Lawrence, man, I mean, if you're pairing up him, I know he might not have been the best available at the time, but for him to fall, I think he was kind of around that point. I think Zion Young ended up falling a little bit further as well, the Mizzou guy that I mentioned for the Bears last week.
He went to the Ravens, which is oof.
Yeah. Typical. I think you called it, Sean. They should draft a wide receiver.
This is what they do.
We're going to go pass rusher. But, I just think, look, They hit on that Javonte Williams signing last year. It pretty much removed the need for running back. They got their wide receivers. They got their tight end. They have their quarterback. Their O-line is solid. I do think they also drafted maybe a depth O-line tackle in the 3rd or 4th round. But just the fact that they're like, okay, we got Kenny Clark in the interior. Anyone else is up for grabs, and anyone that we draft or sign is going to be fighting for a starting position. You might as well start with the most crucial area that you gave up on 4 picks and for your future to do exactly what you're doing and getting a stud safety in the mix, top guy in the secondary. So I thought it was a great draft for them. I think the Bears did well. I like they went with Mr. Dillon from Oregon, the second best safety, who fell to 25. I was also super happy about that. So good draft for the Cowboys, though. Very impressed.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because you took my guy, man. Because this down guy, that's the thing. He dropped. That's the thing. I feel like it happened that year when Micah Parsons. I remember he was like a really high potential draft pick, and I remember he fell. And when they got him, they were ecstatic. I was like, "Oh, interesting." And
yeah.
He turned out to be a big time player. So maybe the same situation happened again. But for me, I got some couple of eyebrow raises. I'm like, what are these guys doing? And that's what Jeremiah Love did the Cardinals.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
This is like
I told you.
I saw that. I was like, is he going to get traded? Like, what's going on? Like, what is going on with the situation? Because based on that contract, Jeremiah Love is like the highest paid running back in
like
NFL.
$50 million? Yeah.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed money. It's just I'm just scratching my head trying to understand the thought process of that pick because
well, if you're getting Bijan, like they say, then maybe it's worth it.
Bijan and Marvin Harrison.
If he's Bijan, then I guess he might be. If he is Bijan, then I guess it's worth it.
I'm drafting Jacoby Brissett 7th round fantasy next year.
I got a fantasy guy for you after we end this podcast.
I saw that. I'm like, that is a highly suspect pick because I think they're going to be back in the lottery again.
Yeah,
back in the bottom 3 team because
yeah.
I don't understand drafting a running back, even though he might be a superstar when your team's just not good. Like
not them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, exactly. It would be great in a situation where they're built ready with a hole. But that one's I had a question, like an eyebrow raised there. But I'm gonna get this Carnell take Ohio State receiver. Like my question is he that guy? Like Sean, you're the college football guy. Like why is this guy going
on that team? You talking about on the Ohio State team? I mean, we know who the guy was.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm looking at him like number 4 overall means you're a once in a lifetime receiver.
Should be.
Like if you're trying to tell me out of just the crop of Ohio State guys, it's like, okay, so even though Jameson Williams with Alabama, but like him, you're talking Smith and Jigba, you're talking Olave, you're talking. I feel like there's one or other.
Garrett Wilson,
but like. Yeah, out of those crop, like I don't think he's because all of those guys outside of maybe Smith and Jigba, which I think Smith and Jigba is probably the better the route runner of all those guys. Like I think he's just the greatest route runner of all those guys. Like they all had like a trait where it's like, oh, like that's either like Jameson Williams, giddy up. It's like all those other guys. It's just something with them. Olave, like elite route runner too, but like also like tough hands. Carnell Tate, I think is really, really, really good, but I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like him with the Titans just because you kind of now have to have him pegged as like your number 1
receiver 1, right?
Like he has to be at the end of week 15 or 16. We're looking at his stat line like, oh, he's got 65 balls for like 888 yards and like 8 touchdowns. I don't know if he's getting there.
Right?
Not with that O-line
right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Usually those guys are these high drafted receivers. You're like, this is Jamar Chase. That's what you got to be if you're that.
They're 1,000-yard guys out the gate. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're immediate impact guys. There's no like easing him in. He just kind of comes in and kind of the X receiver, slot receiver. You can do it all type of guy. That's what you're getting. So I saw that. I was like, it's kind of odd going on. But I guess that's what the Cardinals and Tennessee Titans. These are bad franchises doing some suspect moves right now because I see that. I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, what are these guys doing? Because I don't understand the rationale on it. Because
I think Titans panicked because they thought they would get love.
That's exactly what I was.
I think they thought they would get love. They panicked.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they thought Arizona. I thought they thought Arizona was going to trade back, and then somebody else was going to take another thing. And when Arizona just took Love, they panicked. It was like, well, we got to get somebody on offense, which is just not always a good formula to do. And Carnell Tate was guess their dude. I don't know.
Yeah, number 4.
I didn't like
overall
the
is
pick
a
either.
crazy value, right? That's a high pick for a receiver. So I saw that. That was highly questionable. My last little one that eyebrow raised was Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god.
You're the LA Rams where you're kind of all in, right? Like this is the franchise that defines the term all in. Like you're trying to win a Super Bowl, and they were able to get a Super Bowl by going all in, and you trade your pick to get what's his face from the defense end, man. They traded a first-round pick.
Talking about who for
the LA Rams. They traded one of their first-round picks to get the
McDuffie, right?
McDuffie,
McDuffie.
Warner, exactly. So you get McDuffie. Okay, that's a win now type of move, right? That's a win now type of move. And then you take a guy in Ty Simpson, where I'm like, you still got Matthew Stafford, and you're trying to win a chip right now. And I feel like Sean McVay's like, we got the team to win it. Let's add some talent to help this roster go.
McVay was pissed.
And you get a guy in Ty Simpson.
He's like, I don't want to babysit. Come on. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Develop? What are you talking about? You got Matthew Stafford, the Hall of Fame quarterback in his prime, and he still got it. And you're like, oh, we're going to have this guy sit and learn behind him. I'm like, okay. This is the NFL, man. Like you got.
This ain't Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, all right. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
You got an opportunity to win a Super Bowl this upcoming year, and you're able to get talent at the 13th pick. Like that's a pretty high pick. I don't think anyone heard Ty Simpson going that high.
They could have got Zion Young. They could have got. I mean, not Zion Young. He got drafted later, but like they could have got a pass rusher. They could have got relationships matter.
Mm-hmm.
I said it in our Slack chat. Like this is not and that's why McVay. Kudos to him. He showed his true emotions. He didn't try to play the coy of, he did it about as professional as you can be. It's like he is going to be brought in to compete with Stetson Bennett. Like that's his way of saying "F you, Les Snead," because this was nothing but a relationship thing with, I guess, Snead and Ty Simpson's dad, which is just like. It is unbelievable. Really? And I sent that in the chat, but like, and we can look over it after the pod, but it's like, this is nothing but politics to the degree. And it's just really disgusting that goes on at that level, especially of the NFL. I know it happens in all facets of life. We get it. Yeah. But it's like, just this circumstance of like all in, what are we doing? And Ty Simpson, to the point of development, he's had 1 year of starting like actually as a starter, 1 year. So he's been in college forever, but he's only had 1 year. It's like basically Mark Sanchez. Like he had 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So it's like that's why that's why to me, this is, I don't care what the GM says. McVay had it on his face. This is nothing but a relationship play of like, you're like Les Snead and Ty Simpson's father, who's the coach, I think at USTA or wherever. We're boys, and I'm drafting your son. That's all that is, and it's disgusting because it's just like, come on, bro. Like, and it makes me kind of makes me not want to root for Ty Simpson because it's just like there's other guys who've been starters for 3+ years who have put in the work, and then you just get it because your dad's got it. Like,
disgusting. At least Mac Jones got drafted organically. We got to give him
and Mac Jones had a really good year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it kind of makes it like Ty Simpson was up and down, and everybody wants to play. Like, and they keep saying, well. And we're about to end it, but it's like, well, Bama didn't have it's Ala freaking Bama. They had backs, they had receivers, and they had off. Stop trying to make it seem like you're playing it like
Indiana.
Like, dude, like got not worked, like embarrassed.
Yes.
So it's like, get out of here. Like, it's disgusting. But for me, oddly enough, I think the Browns had another good draft. They got two, like, both ends of the spectrum receivers with Denzel Boston, who's like the 50-50 guy, and then Casey Concepcion, who was like basically a safety blanket. Yep. The two tackles, like the first pick was Fano the tackle, and then they got the one from Florida. They got a center. I just think this is basically going to be like the Shador, I mean, if Deshaun maybe gets healthy, whoever, prove a year of like, you got the dudes now. We've had 2 consecutive drafts where you could almost say this year was an A and last year was an A-. Like they got dudes on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, that you can work with. It's up to the quarterback now to show and prove. There's just no excuses. You got to figure out how to make this team either fighting for a playoff spot or in the playoffs. Like regardless of the division, you got to figure something out because there's too much talent that's being drafted on this team to just keep saying, well, we got to figure. No, the quarterback needs to come and play. So like I said, whether that's Shador, Deshaun, or whoever's going to be in 2027, that you got to start playing because the Browns are doing a really good job drafting. I just think they are. And I know in that division, they're always going to be the afterthought, but I think this division, depending on what the Pittsburgh Steelers do at quarterback, which I'm assuming is going to be Aaron Rodgers, I don't freaking know. But that division is going to be a dogfight because I also love what Cincinnati did with taking a chance and getting Dexter Lawrence because I know people's like, why are you playing that for D tackle? But it's like, it's not about just the sacks and stuff. It's what he's going to command on the field. And it's going to free up a lot of those guys who were subpar and they're going to become better players because they have one-on-one blocks, so they're just coming free. So I love that acquisition for them. They show some aggressiveness, which Cincinnati never does on that side of the ball. So that division is going to be pretty interesting. So out of like the draft day, though, I think Cleveland just had a really good emphasis on their offensive line and weapons for Shedeur or whoever to throw to. So I was excited about that. But
I was surprised.
The Ty Simpson thing, it's just because if you watch college football, dude, it's just
what it's worth.
Yeah. And then so now you just get to go to LA and just get to sit and chill, probably date a hot model, which is I'm not hating on that, but like and you just get to get that much amount of money. Like the only downside of that is the taxes. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. So whatever. But we'll see how that plays out. I know Matt, and also before we go, do you think it's kind of weird that when he was in a press conference talking, like, like who's reached out to you, that Matt Stafford's wife reached out to him before Matt Stafford did?
He loves a backup quarterback. He loves a backup quarterback.
Oh no! I was like, oh my God, here we go. Like if I'm Matt Stafford and I take a gander out of my garage and hear that, and I'm looking at my wife like, what are we doing? But whatever, it is what it is.
He did it at Georgia.
So Jim,
his backup
definitely did. Definitely did. So we'll see how that turns out. But NBA playoffs will be wrapping up. I think next time we get on here, we'll be in a couple of second round series. And pretty much just be focused strictly on NFL because there's not really, I mean NBA, because there's not really anything from the NFL aspect that we'll be touching on. So make sure you guys, Tyson Talks _ YouTube, Instagram, Quantro Knows, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple. Make sure you give us a 5-star review. If you do give us a 5-star review, leave kind of a 5-star on the actual app, not just the review, so we can get in, because I think the 5-star app, when you press it with the 5 stars, give us a better chance to get in the algorithms versus leaving a comment, which is just weird with algorithm stuff. But make sure you do that. I got the YouTube, I got all that stuff. So for me, Zoo, and P. Bush, we are out.